How's it going, everyone? Welcome to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be discussing something very unique. I'm going to be giving you guys 5 very important tips that is guaranteed to take you from whatever division you're in right now into division 1. Yes, at the end of the video I'm entering 2 bonus tips, so in total like 7 confirmed tips that is going to help you get into division 1. Guys, I'm not just saying it, these tips is guaranteed 100%. If you implement them, it will not just take you to the next level. If you're stuck in division 3, if you're stuck in division 4, division 2, what it will not just take you from whatever division you're into the next level, but it would definitely get you into division 1, right? Now I'm going to be making this video as a series, so it's going to be a series of videos that talk about how to play the game in general. The first one being this one is going to be a general information, a generalization of the mindset you should have in game and how to approach the game. Subsequently, we're going to be talking about controller settings, camera settings, how to attack, how to defend, squad management, right, team management, how to build your squad and build up play, right? So I'm going to go in depth on and give you guys the same tactics that the pros use and how they play, what makes their game so different from yours, what gives them that edge over you, right? So just stick around for that. Now, on the background of this video is a game that I played with a very difficult opponent, right? It doesn't necessarily have much to do with the video, but I just want you guys to be entertained while you're watching the video. Alright, so I'm a division 1 player myself. My highest world ranking is 721. You can look that up. 721 highest world ranking. Currently I'm in division 1. I make division 1 every phase, and I do it without struggle. So you know that I know what I'm talking about when I tell you that if I give you these tips, you're guaranteed to get into division 1, right? What I am telling you is gospel, and you should take that as that. If you implement these tips very well and you don't get to the division 1, you can unsubscribe from my channel, but I am guaranteeing it that if you implement these tips, you are definitely going to get into division 1. Alright, if you've not yet liked the video yet, if you've not subscribed, kindly do that now before we get right in. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first thing that you have to consider when you're trying to get into division 1 is the kind of device you're playing on. A lot of people use low-end device and devices that barely meet the requirements of the game, right? So they have poor gaming experience, and you have to deal with the game always, breaking up and lagging, and sometimes they blame the network, and really it's just their device, right? So I can understand that budget might be an issue, might be a potential reason why you're not able to get a good device to play the game in. But what I would say is, even if you can't get a good device to play the game in, navigate to the settings and reduce the quality of the picture quality during game, the graphic quality and the frames per second. That will actually improve your gaming as well. What I've come to understand is that when you're playing with a high-end device, it gives your players an edge. It makes them slightly faster than the other player. It registers your input slightly better than your opponent, right? And it allows you to win those 50-50 balls, those loose balls, more often than your opponent. So it's something that you need to consider as well. Get a good device. You get a good device and you will notice a massive improvement in your game, or at least reduce the picture quality of the device you're currently using if the device is not strong enough. Now, the second thing that you need to consider when you're trying to get into division 1 is your team management, your squad building. And this is one thing a lot of people ignore or do not just understand, right? A lot of people will just pack so many good players, so many highly rated players in the game, without knowing the strengths of those players, without knowing the weaknesses of those players, without knowing the play style those players have, without having a particular play style themselves, right? So you need, when you're building your squad, you need to pick players that complement your play style. You need to have a game plan whenever you're approaching games, right? So like I said, I'm going to make a video on in depth that talks about team building and squad building, that will tell you exactly what you need to know when you're building your squad, right? But this is just one thing I feel I need to mention, which is the squad building. If you build your squad very well, you will notice a massive improvement because everybody will play their position to the optimal. So yeah, so that's the next thing: team building or squad building. It's very very important. All right, so the third thing we're going to consider when we're trying to get into Division One is taking responsibility or taking accountability for your losses, right? This is something that a lot of gamers, in fact even me myself, I'm guilty of it. Almost every gamer is guilty of it. When you take a loss, you don't just want to admit that you're the one that lost that game. You blame everything but yourself. You blame your phone, you blame your players, you blame the network, you blame the lag, you blame everything else but yourself. And whereas the truth is, the far more likely possibility is that you lost the game and you were in control of that game, right? You are in control of your players. So if you happen to not play well, it's most likely because you were terrible in that particular game, right? Of course, I understand that there are times when the game will screw you over, and there are times when your players will just really piss you off and they would not finish chances that they should finish, right? But those times are only really 20% of the time, right? So like 80% of the time you are actually in control. So one thing that would actually help you take your game to the next level is taking responsibility, taking accountability. When you lose, understand that you were the one who took the loss. You were the one who played poorly and you lost the game. Don't blame any team, blame anybody, but any team, blame yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. Right? Blame yourself. Even when you feel hard done by, when you feel the game completely worked against you, still take accountability for it. Because I'll tell you this, there are times when the game has not favored me at all, but I will do my best to grind out the win. And if I don't grind out the win, I will take the responsibility and say, yes, I was the one who lost that game. Right? I did everything that I could, but you did your best, but your best was not good enough. Right? Even if you think who you're playing against is a noob, if the person somehow managed to beat you, they have done something right, and you should find a way to learn something from your games, not just blaming everything else that is not you. All right, so the fourth thing we're going to mention is taking breaks after losses. This is very very important, and a lot of people take frustration from the previous match into the new match, right? And then they are upset about the chances they missed in the previous match. They are upset about the kind of goals they conceded in the previous match, and then they just take that frustration out, on the new match. So what I would suggest is try and take breaks even after wins as well, because sometimes you can get too excited after a win. You can take an excitement into a new match, right? So try and take breaks after matches. So personally, what I do is after every match I take a break when I'm playing divisions. If I win, I take a 5 minutes break after a win. If I lose, I take a 30 minutes break, and if I drew the match, I take a 15 minutes break. That way I'm entering the game with a clear head, with a new mindset, and I'm not raging about the last game, I'm not bitter about the last game. Right? So try to take breaks. It's going to help your gaming a lot, and it's going to ensure that you don't take back-to-back losses so much, because that's something that people do. You lose one, you lose two, you lose three, you lose four, and you just keep losing like that because you are obsessed about the last game. You've not gotten over the last game. So take breaks and move on from the last game. Something that is very very important for gamers to do is have short-term memory. Win or loss, whatever has happened in game, whether you won the game or the person came back against you, have a short-term memory after every game, so that you would not take the frustration from the last game into the new one. All right, so the fifth thing that I'm going to mention, which is supposed to be the final thing, but I'm going to be giving two bonus tips. Okay, so the fifth thing is watching the pros, and I'm talking about people who actually make Division One very very often. I'm talking about the pros who make content on YouTube. Watch how they play, watch the kind of decisions, they watch their decision making in game, watch the kind of players they use, watch the way they build their team, their squad management, the kind of formation they use, watch how they play, and try to replicate some of their play style into your own game play as well. You would come to understand that when you're watching pros, you will see a lot of things that you should actually take advantage of, but you don't, because you think you know it all, right? You don't watch them play. There are a lot of things that are actually meta in the game, but a lot of people don't do it because they don't even know that these things are meta, right? So you need to watch the pros play. All right, so we're getting into the bonus tips now. Now, before we get into the bonus tips, if you're not yet subscribed, please kindly do so. If you've not liked the video, if you've not subscribed, please do so. All right, so now we're getting into the bonus tip. Now, the first bonus tip I will give you, which is something that is very, very advanced, and it takes a lot of time, right? It takes so much time to master it, and this is what I call studying the animation. Studying the animation. Look, guys, it might sound very, very crazy, but basically every single move in this game was done by animating work, right? There's only a finite number of animation in the game, and the pros actually know this. They know certain animation, they know certain body types, they know that the position of certain players would allow them to take better shots, better shooting angle, better passing angle, and all that. Most of the people I see struggling in this game, they don't know the animation of players, and they complain when players miss certain chances, or they are supposed to shoot and they just lose balance and they slide into the shot, right? If you study animation, you would have those kind of experience a lot less, because now you will know when to pass, when to shoot, when to dribble. Your decision making is going to be on point, right? So you would lose a lot less games, right? So study the animation. It will take time, but I promise you it's worth it. And now, the last and probably the most important tip I'm going to give you: screen record your games and watch them back. Guys, I cannot emphasize this enough. Screen record your games and watch them back. When you watch your games, you are going to see things that you missed. I guarantee it. You are going to see things you missed from the previous game from the game that you played. You're going to see the mistakes you made that led to the goals you conceded. You are going to see chances that you should have converted and you didn't convert it. You are going to see passes that you should have played that you didn't play. I know watching back your the game you lost, can be very, very painful, especially if you feel like it's a game you should have won. But I'm telling you guys, if you actually do this, you are going to improve massively. You are going to improve so much, because you would see all the things that you're doing wrong, and it will allow you to eliminate those mistakes completely from your game. So try to watch your gameplay more often. Record your gameplay and then watch them over and over. All right, so these are 7 tips in total that would guarantee you entering into Division 1. So the first thing is play from a good device, right? Squad building, right? Take responsibility when you lose. Take breaks between losses and between wins as well. Watch the pros play. Study the animation. And finally, screen record your games and watch them back. These are the things that will definitely take you guys into Division 1. Alright, so that's it for the video, guys. I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.